The first time in 32 years, it is match day on home soil for the U.S. men's national team. And look at that, the face on the match day post from the team. That is the face of Weston McKennie. He is a second time, head to the World Cup for the second time, but he's our local guy, and boy, he's got a good story, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got to talk to his mom about his journey from, the tiny little soccer cleats to now being our Team USA hometown sport hero. I mean, what a story.
It's an amazing story. Yeah. There are amazing people helping him along the way, and really, it's an easy story to fall in love with. When it comes to deciding where he calls home, Weston McKennie has options. There's Fort Lewis, Washington. That's where he was actually born. There's Turin, Italy, where he now stars for his professional club, Juventus. But Weston's final answer to that question, where is home? It's Little Elm, the forever home of his most important comeback.
It's not where he was born or where his love for soccer started. But when the world is listening, North Texas is the place Weston McKennie chooses to call home.
From Little Elm, Texas, Weston McKennie!
I can always feel comfortable and call this place my home no matter where I go. They've always kind of been there, guided me the way, and believed in me whenever many people didn't believe in me.
I told him mother, he's going to go pro.
We knew that back then, that there was something special about him.
Now we see him playing in the World Cup, tears down.
If they wouldn't have been there for him, I don't think he would be where he is today.
Tina McKennie remembers the exact moment when her son's dream to play for Team USA was born. It was the 2006 World Cup. The McKennies were living in Germany, where Weston's dad, John, was stationed in the Army. There was an opportunity to meet the U.S. men's national team, and Weston wanted superstar Landon Donovan to autograph his cleats.
Donovan was like, ooh, that smell like cleats. And Weston was like, please sign my cleats. And he did. He said, Mom, I want to play on that team one day. And I said, you will.
The McKennies would move back to the States and begin searching for the right coach to develop their son's rare talent.
Then Alphonse came in our life.
What did I tell you the first time I met Weston?
He's going to be famous one day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For believing in him.
Thank you, I did.
You were the coach that he needed.
How do you feel watching a Weston McKennie World Cup commercial that you star in?
I'm blessed.
I realized how lucky I was to have people in my life that guided me and sacrificed their own time to help me accomplish, my goals.
That is what I do. Go, get over there, Logan. Get involved. If I see a kid like this, I have this kind of passion, I want to make sure that he gets to where he wants to be.
Under Alphonse Ningon's watch, McKennie made a name for himself, getting the attention of the FC Dallas Academy.
Excellent. Stay on your toes.
Tina's first connection with FC Dallas was Jesse Suarez.
Everyone in North Texas kept telling me, to see this kid.
Suarez was so impressed, he suggested McKennie play above his age group, pitching the idea to fellow FC Dallas Academy coach Francisco Molina.
Francisco was very shocked.
He's a good player, he might be able to play up. And I'm like, yeah, let's see him.
You hear this all the time.
I hear it all the time, exactly.
Right after the practice was over, he was like, this kid needs to play for me.
At 14, Weston got his first opportunity to audition for the national team when U.S. soccer scouts visited an FC Dallas scrimmage.
Did he know the scouts were there?
He did not.
He scored 4 goals.
What happened after that?
He got the call up.
That meant residency, a now-defunct program, which at the time required Weston and other top prospects to move to Florida and train with the national team for 2 years.
I was just lucky to be chosen to come out here and play against older kids, and it's going to help me out in the long run.
Weston's down there 2 years with one real goal, right? And that goal is what?
To make the U17 World Cup at that time.
At residency, Weston found a coach who did not believe in him. When the roster was picked, McKennie was left out of the U17 World Cup and sent home from Florida.
What did you see in your son?
I saw a kid that was broken.
Where was his confidence?
Oh, it was very low.
We knew that it wasn't him. He wasn't acting like himself. He was just going through the motions.
With Coach Molina and Jesse at FC Dallas, I have
to thank them.
Because I thought my kid lost the passion by the game. If they wouldn't have been there for him, I don't think he would be where he is today.
Under their watch, Molina and Suarez saw and heard Weston make his comeback.
Every practice, he will always be the guy that will ask, to keep the soccer balls.
And they would just hear from the office, bam, bam, bam.
Just kicking the ball into the wall.
How long would that go on?
That would go for hours, man.
Bam. We knew that he was back.
Now, 20 years after getting Landon Donovan's autograph in Germany, Weston McKennie is a World Cup star for the United States on home soil, proving right all of the coaches who believed he could have this moment.
It's like the dream come true. I believe in him a lot. A lot.
Our career as developers, it makes it worthwhile.
The kids that I've coached, I always bring Weston's name on.
I do it all the time. These guys are probably tired of me. That's on camera as well. Hope Weston doesn't see that. You want to be special, you got to put the work in.
For the guardian of those smelly cleats,
Do they still smell?
it's time to watch that biggest dream come true for her boy from Little Elm.
And when he scores,
Oh my gosh.
that's what it's like.
Oh, that's what it's like.
In 2022, McKennie started all 4 matches for the U.S. at his first World Cup in Qatar, but he did not score. Tina will be in the stands in Los Angeles at the stadium tonight, so I can only imagine what her celebration would look like if that goal finally comes.
My
Lauren's
goodness.
over here in tears.
The soccer mom. I mean, and I just think it's proof that even the best get knocked down, and it's what your reaction to that made him who he is today.
And all the people who supported him along the way.
Like when he takes that field tonight, it's like all those people taking it with him.
It's like you heard Alphonse say, it's a dream for all of them. They will be in tears. And, these are stories we see across sports all the time with superstars. I think of like a Steph Curry who went underrated for so long in college basketball. Now he's a superstar, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Sometimes it's about just having those coaches that can see the talent in you.
Yeah, I think it also says a lot for our youth soccer programs in North Texas that we have attracted these kind of coaches that are here to help these kids hopefully be the best they can be.
Yes, and Weston is one of 4 players that came through the FC Dallas Academy that will be on this U.S. team tonight, along with Ricardo Pepi, Alex Zendejas, and Chris Richards, who we've talked about so much. So not only has FC Dallas produced all this talent, but these guys go back. They've been family for a long time.
Yeah, and I remember some of the players saying that, and especially now practicing together, they are family right now. So, I mean, and when she smelled his cleat, it's like, that's a smell only a mother could love.
That was a great mommy moment, wasn't it, Lauren?
That was a great mommy moment as my kid's hockey.
No, Lauren said, I know that smell.
And I think, I've only got a 9-year-old, but I know it gets worse and worse. All the moms tell me, just wait.
Well, now
Your son plays hockey, so that's like ultimate.
And he does soccer too, but yes, they're,
now we know, 20 years later, that smell, still there. Still there.
It really lingers.
Good to know. Thank you for that report, Jeff.
That was a great story.